The answer to Jude Bellingham would have been Ben Elliot, who grew up in the same age group as Jude, and they used to both play for England, mostly in midfield, sometimes as a 10. Jude would occasionally even play as a 9, but Ben and he were very, very similar players, and Ben had a number of misfortunes and family issues, but he also had a couple of he picked up an illness on a tournament in Holland, and he was really seriously ill for a long time. Then he had a really bad broken ankle, and he lost his way. He's playing at Reading now, so he's still in the game, earning a living. But he was the one who was neck and neck with Jude. But obviously Chelsea tried really hard to sign Jude Bellingham, really hard. You know, I think through the time, I think Frank Lampard might have been manager then when it actually came to it.
Yeah.
And the club needed to go a bit further on the money, and he was very young, and he needed to know there was a first team pathway, which was only just being established, really. And Dortmund offered him all those things, you know. Funnily enough, Jude's dad, Mark Bellingham, played for me.
Yes, you mentioned that in the book.
Yeah, about 100 years ago. a decent player too, and always scored goals in non-league. Mark, really lovely family. And so, yeah, Chelsea tried really hard to get Jude, but they didn't quite get enough money on the table, I think, and enough of a pathway to get him.
But when you scouted him, what were you looking for, and what impressed you most at the time?
I can remember being sent to go and watch him. I think it's when he made his first team debut for Birmingham, and I think from memory it was in a League Cup game at Portsmouth that I went to see him, and he was on the bench and he came off. So we'd known all about him. There've been loads of reports about loads of scouts on him growing up. He'd come to everyone's attention. And I went to see him. I think it was the first time I'd seen him live. I'd seen him on video. And I knew he was a midfield player, and I knew he was athletic, and he had good touch and a good attitude. You know, that's as much as I knew. And he came on off the bench in that game, and he looked like he belonged. You know, he wasn't fazed by men's football. You think, yeah, this is a kid who can deal with this and can deal with, playing up and the competition. He looked at home, which he's probably about 16, I think, at the time. So they were the things that impressed. I mean, technically he's very good, athletically very good. We knew that, expected that to be the case. But again, it was the way that he just came in and got on with the game, and he looked like he wasn't fazed by it. That you think, yeah, he could deal with it, a bigger move, bigger club, bigger occasions, as it proved to be the case, you know.
Yeah.
So
did you make it? No, sorry.
He wasn't a difficult one to write a good report on, you know, and there are lots of us scouts were all saying the same, you know. So it's the ones that I always say that you can see the best and the worst players in any game in 5 minutes. It's all the so-and-sos in between that are difficult.
Yeah.
The ones who might be good, who are not good now, but if they grew or if they changed or with that coaching, would they be good? That's the hard thing to assess. The ones who stand out, and they're relatively easy.
Did you make any notes on his temper, which has also got him into a bit of trouble?
He was competitive, and he wasn't put off, so he was ready to dig in and put his foot in. I can remember writing that, but he, you know, it certainly wouldn't have been a negative, because players have to have a bit of an edge. You know, they have to be able to compete. The players that I've mentioned, Reece, Mason Mount, Conor Gallagher, they could all dig in when they needed to. And you need that to have that belief in yourself, you know, because there will be lots of people, particularly if you're good on the ball, who are going to be there to kick you and to, you know, get the studs in and get you out of the game, sort of thing, or physically try and challenge you. And if there's any weakness there, it'll be found out. So you know that the lads who are going to succeed have to have all of that. So you look, as scouts, we're just searching for clues, you know, about players, because we don't know the players. So we're searching for clues, and the clues are: do they want it? If they lose the ball, do they win it back, or do they throw their arms up in the air and, you know, moan at the referee or something? You want the ones who want to do it. and are ready to mix it, because they're going to have to do that. So yeah, Jude, that was never a problem with Jude, never a negative at all.